welcome back to my channel. I always say that one of these days I'm gonna have like a new intro, and I never come up with one, but there we go. Hi, welcome back. So today I am going to be doing mostly a Trader Joe's haul, but I did also pick up a couple of things at Whole Foods that I wanted to show you. So it's pretty much just Trader Joe's haul though. And the reason that I picked up stuff at Whole Foods is because we live about 20 minutes away from Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. So if we're ever going to one, I pretty much always try to also like get whatever I need at the other one as well, since we're already there. So yeah, I'm gonna actually start with Whole Foods just to get it out of the way, but I have 5 bags of Trader Joe's stuff and 1 bag from Whole Foods that just has a couple of things in it that I'm gonna show you. So first off, I had to get more of my pickles. These are the Grillo's pickles. I am not kidding you. These are the most fresh tasting, delicious pickles I have ever had. And I just bought a container of these less than a week ago. And I ate the entire thing. So I was like, I have to pick up more. And I couldn't find them last time I was at Kroger. Even though Kroger, which is like our close local grocery store, tends to have them regularly, I just didn't see them there. So then I picked up my favorite meat substitute brand. I haven't bought them in a while. I bought these Beyond Meat burgers, so they're veggie burgers. And then they had something there that I've never seen before, and this is the Beyond Meat sausage. And I was pretty excited because I thought, ooh, this could be really good when you saute up some mushrooms and some onions and you make it into like a sausage sandwich. So we'll see. I'm gonna be freezing both of these though, because I don't think I'll be eating them in the next few days, and they expire in like the next 10 days. So yeah, but I'm really excited to try these out. By the way, for the record, these are Dan's favorite veggie burgers, hands down. He is not a veggie burger fan, and these are so good. If you've never tried them before, it's a little weird when you first make them because they stay bright red because they're colored using beet juice. So it can kind of trip you out, and it's like, is this raw? It kind of reminds you of like raw meat. But it's just so good. And once you get over that, yeah, I think you'll love it. So we did pick up a loaf of sourdough bread. Now Dan actually got some sourdough bread at Trader Joe's, but to my knowledge, their sourdough bread is actually not real sourdough bread. And this, as far as I know, the way that you can tell is if a sourdough bread has yeast listed in the ingredients, then it's not actual sourdough. So this was the Whole Foods like in-house brand. So, and the ingredients on here are organic wheat flour, organic malted barley, water, sourdough starter, which is just wheat flour, salt, and barley flour, and then salt, enzymes, ascorbic acid, barley flour. So yeah, I haven't tried the Whole Foods brand. We did buy like a local brand at Whole Foods last week when we went, and we froze them up, but getting real sourdough bread is so hard that anytime I'm like in an area where I can get it, I buy a bunch and then I double bag it and freeze it. So we will see how this goes. It was 1 whole slice, and then they sliced it for us in Whole Foods. I love Whole Foods so much. I think I was gonna say it's my favorite grocery store, but then I think about how much I love other grocery stores too, like Trader Joe's or Costco, or I even really like Kroger. So it's hard for me. Okay, so Trader Joe's. Some of these things were picked by Dan. A lot of them were things I specifically had on my list to pick up. So first thing, he got 2 bags of this white cheddar popcorn. If you haven't tried this like staple item from Trader Joe's, it's been around forever. Dan has been eating this stuff since he was a little boy, and it's delicious. I would not call this healthy, but it's very, very yummy. So then I already mentioned this, but Dan got a loaf of sourdough bread. And see in here it says, oh, they do have sourdough starter listed on here, but then the very last ingredient is yeast. And so like I said, to my knowledge, that means that it's not like real sourdough bread. So Dan also grabbed some old-fashioned blistered peanuts, I guess just to nosh on. And then he also got some Thai lime and chili almonds. I don't know if he's tried either of these before, but he picked these up. Now, something that we have tried, these are favorites of ours. The first one is this roasted and salted truffle Marcona almonds. Oh my gosh, and the second one is roasted and salted Marcona almonds with rosemary. Dan doesn't like the rosemary as much, and we're both huge fans of the truffle ones. Honestly, if you're a truffle fan, it's so good. And the rosemary nuts are so good as well. And I like having them like either just as stacks, or I'll take a little handful on the side with like my lunch or whatever. They're delicious. Okay, so I like just always buying like jarred salsa when I'm out that I can keep in the cupboard. I frequently like to make my own fresh salsa using fresh produce, or I'll use canned tomatoes to make salsa. But sometimes I don't have anything, or I don't feel like doing any of the work. So having jarred salsa on hand is like my jam. Now I like to have multiple jars. I guess I was just too lazy to pick up multiple jars today. And I'm not the biggest fan from what I've tried of Trader Joe's jarred salsas, but I feel like I remember liking this one. So I picked it up to throw in the cupboard for those times. You guys know I use salsa for everything. I will put it on eggs, like omelets or scrambled, wraps. I'll do salsa in guacamole sometimes. Obviously chips and salsa. I just love salsa so much. I think it's potentially my favorite condiment. So I purchased this for a cupboard as well. This is unsweetened almond, cashew, and macadamia nut beverage. And all that's in this is water, almonds, cashews, macadamia nuts, calcium carbonate, sea salt, locust bean gum, sunflower lecithin, natural flavor, and gellan gum. So I'd like to make my own like nut milk, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. And I like having multiples in my cupboard for the same reason as the salsa. Just like sometimes you're like, oh, I really need that milk, whether I'm baking something or Dan wants cereal or I'm having a smoothie. And so I like having a few that don't have to be refrigerated, that can just be stored in my cupboard. And you guys know that we're working on our like backup pantry right now. It's kind of like our prepper pantry, but also just backup food. So we don't have to go to the grocery store every time we need something. That's also kind of the purpose of our garden that we're slowly growing. Although I want to be able to like supplement a lot of our food from our garden over the years. If I still like stay on track with this goal, that's what I'm thinking. But I don't think I've ever had this before, so we'll see how this tastes. Okay, so I also purchased some honey. I wish I was getting local honey, but I just didn't get around to it. Like, I feel like I make excuses sometimes, but I'm like, you know what I mean? You can't do everything perfectly, and everything's kind of like this journey to try to get things better. And having some kind of honey, in my opinion, is better than no honey. So I got this multi-floral and clover honey. And I like to use honey sometimes as a substitute sweetener when I'm baking, or when I make smoothies. I will like to add this as a sweetener if I want it a little sweeter. So like when I do my peanut butter chocolate smoothie, I use raw cacao nibs. So there's no sweetener in that. So I like adding honey so that it can kind of cut some of the bitterness. So yeah. Then I purchased my favorite mustard. This is the aioli garlic mustard sauce, and it's just like it sounds. It's kind of like an aioli. There's a garlic flavor to it. It's mustardy, and I love it for a couple different things. I like putting it on sandwiches when I make my veggie BLTs. I think that the garlicky mustard flavor is really good in combination with the veggie bacon that I use. And I also love using this stuff to create salad dressings. It's, you know, mustard is kind of a typical ingredient for creating salad dressings anyways. And I think that this particular mustard is delicious. So Dan got a couple of curry sauces, a Thai red curry sauce, Thai yellow curry sauce. Can't really speak to it because once again, Dan picked it up and I've actually never made curry. I actually only discovered that I kind of semi-like curry a couple of weeks ago, and ever since then, Dan has been experimenting with different recipes. So I think I know that that's why he picked that up. So I did also get 2 bottles, one for storage and one because we're out, of balsamic vinegar. I love balsamic vinegar, not only in salad dressings. I made the most amazing salad the other day, which by the way, I filmed that and it was in my What I Eat in a Day video that I just uploaded. So I'll link that down below if I can remember. And I used balsamic vinegar in the dressing, so I love it for that. But I also like it sometimes to roast veggies. I have a bunch of carrots that are gonna be going bad soon, so I'm planning on roasting them with balsamic vinegar and garlic and a couple of other things. So, okay, so then I got some rosemary, which looked amazing. I'm in the process of growing my own rosemary in my tower garden. But I am far from actually having that ready to go. I think it's probably gonna be another like month or two till I can start eating off of it. And I like rosemary in my soups. I like to make dips sometimes out of it, but mostly my favorite is to add it to soups. It's so good. And if you're doing like a crock pot veggie, kind of like mock chicken noodle, or you're actually doing a chicken noodle, I think that adding rosemary into the crock pot to sit all day is so good. I also like to add bay leaf. I think that that's really yummy too, but fresh rosemary, so good. So I also picked up some shishito peppers. Now I feel like maybe I'm, what's that phrase, like glutton for punishment, because I've tried the shishito peppers from Trader Joe's many times, and 9 times out of 10, I don't like them. I don't like whatever like farm they're buying their shishito peppers from, I don't know. But I'm such a sucker for shishito peppers. I was like, maybe this will be a good batch. I love taking them, covering them in olive oil, salt and pepper, and then roasting them in the oven at like 400, 425 for like 15, 20 minutes. I just keep checking and make sure that they're kind of like, they're cooked, they're brown, maybe even a little tiny bit blackened. And I just think shishito peppers are incredible. And I can kind of smell them. Oh, I love shishito peppers. So I also picked up some green onions, and I'm super excited about these because I love green onions. I've told you guys I like using them sometimes in guacamole, salsas, on my sandwiches, stir fries, soups, chilies, all kinds of things. But the reason I'm so excited is because the other day I took 2 little cuttings of spring onions. So like at the bottom, can you guys see this? There's roots down there. So when I was done using 2 of my spring onions, I cut them so they were pretty short, but the roots and the bottoms were still there, and I stuck them in a glass. Because I read online that if you do that, that the top will basically grow new spring onions, like basically overnight. And guys, they were not kidding. Now granted, you need light, so I took those 2 onions, put them in a glass, and stuck them on the shelf near my tower garden so they're getting the light from the tower garden lights. And the onion in 2 days, the spring onion has literally grown that much. I'm not even kidding. So now I'm super excited because I only took 2 spring onions to do that, but I'm gonna probably end up using this entire bunch and just stick it in a mason jar and just keep regrowing my own now. I'm like, it's that easy, like what the heck? So I don't know how many times you can cut and like if it'll just keep going. I'm doubtful of that. I feel like it's probably gonna be like lettuce where you can only do like a cut and grow like 3 to 5 times. But yeah, I'm so excited. I couldn't believe how easy it was. I love when people say something is easy online and it actually turns out to be easy versus the other way around when someone's like, it's so easy, and you're doing it and you're like, who are you? This is the opposite of easy. That was legit easy. So I need one of those like staples, like easy buttons. So yeah, then I picked up some organic Roma tomatoes. I think they're Roma tomatoes. No, they're just tomatoes on the vine, but they're organic. Once again, I get a lot of comments about the amount of plastic in my grocery hauls. I know I say this every time. I'm trying, people. I'm working towards it. It's a big reason I'm trying to, well, it's not a big reason. It's one of the reasons. I'm trying to grow my own food, and including tomatoes. I'm currently trying to grow cherry tomatoes on my tower garden because you can't do big tomatoes indoors on the tower garden, but I've read that you can maybe do cherry tomatoes. So I'm working towards it, and I actually just ordered spinach seeds as well. So I'm going to be trying to grow spinach in my tower too. But that being said, I picked up a bag of organic spinach, and what I like to do with spinach, a couple things. One, I either freeze it and I throw it in smoothies, or I'll throw it fresh in smoothies sometimes. It's just like if I start to get the sense that I'm not gonna be able to finish it while it's still good, I'll freeze it. I'll throw spinach in my eggs. I'll put spinach on sandwiches. I'll chop spinach up and add it to my salad. I wanna do something soon where I puree a bunch of spinach into my pasta sauce, just as a way to get more fresh spinach in. There are so many things that you can do with it and so many different ways that I use it. So I picked it up. It's funny because in my last, I think my last grocery haul, which was the Walmart grocery haul, which by the way, because of just how much fun I'm having hauling my food lately and how much you guys seem to like it, I am gonna start going through like a bunch of different grocery stores. Like I'll probably do an Aldi grocery haul next time I gotta go shopping, or one of the few, or Kroger or Publix. I just love grocery shopping. So A lot of you, I mentioned, like, do they even make organic mushrooms? I feel dumb. I love grocery shopping. I've been grocery shopping since I was like 16 and I never noticed, but there are organic mushrooms. I ended up picking up 3 little bins or whatever. 2 of them are white mushrooms. One of them is the Baby Bella cremini mushrooms, just like the brown one. So I got so many mushrooms because A, I love mushrooms, and B, our neighbor just had twin babies. And I'm planning on making a big veggie lasagna to send over to her. So there are a couple things that I bought like multiples of with the purpose of making this veggie lasagna. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I will probably film that because I don't even know the last time, if ever, that I put a veggie lasagna recipe on my channel. So some of these are gonna be for that lasagna recipe. Also, this yellow squash is going to be for the lasagna recipe, and I have a bunch of zucchini somewhere I'll show you as well. So speaking of another thing that I recently ordered to grow on my tower garden, I picked up some organic celery, and I'm super excited because I ordered celery seeds, and I think it's going to work. From what I can tell online, I think you can grow celery indoors in your tower garden, so I'm really excited. But in the meantime, I bought some celery. We like celery for, you know, dipping it in peanut butter. Dan loves that. I like adding celery sometimes to like my chickpea salad or my tuna salad, or I'll cut it up and add it in chili or veggie soups. A lot of people love juicing celery. That's like the craze recently. And it's great for you because it's full of water and vitamins and minerals. And it's another green to get into your diet. So, oh yeah. Then I picked up my favorite hummus, even though I've been practicing making my own hummus lately, and it's really good. It's totally different than this hummus. This is their Mediterranean smooth and creamy, or creamy and smooth hummus. And it really is so good. So I picked some up. Taking like pita or just bread, dipping it in here, or making a wrap and using the hummus as like the bottom of the wrap, like the dressing, is just so good. Now, Dan picked up 2 of our favorite kinds of cheese. This is called Unexpected Cheddar Cheese. It's, I think, my favorite cheese possibly ever, but definitely at Trader Joe's. So we got 2 of these. And then I picked up some Parmesan Reggiano raw milk cheese, aged a minimum of 20 months. And I picked this up because I actually want to do this recipe where I saw it on Pinterest. I want to do a variation of this where you like steam or boil potatoes, mini potatoes, and then you like squish them and you put like garlic and butter and a little Parmesan cheese and then you bake them. And I just thought that that looked amazing and it looked like something Dan will love. So that's why I got that cheese. And we'll use it, I'm sure, in some other way. Dan picked up some salami. I think he also got himself some crackers to go with the salami. And then I picked up some butter. I typically like to purchase my Kerrygold butter at Costco, but I don't know when we're gonna be going back to Costco, and we're like almost out of butter, so I picked some up. Kerrygold is the only butter that I pretty much use, by the way, because based on everything that I have read, their milk, the way that they treat their cows, the way that the milk is processed is just like a much healthier, it creates a much healthier butter. So I always go for Kerrygold if I have the option. Now when we got there, the first thing Dan did, he picked up 2 packs of asparagus. Which, side note, I wish I could grow asparagus. I don't know if I ever will. Maybe one day. Turns out asparagus takes like 4 years to grow. Crazy. But I've been making asparagus lately. We've been in like an asparagus mood where I drizzle it with olive oil, salt, pepper, tons of crushed garlic, and then I'll add slices of lemon on top, and then I'll bake it at like 400 degrees for like 20 or so minutes till I notice that it's getting really brown and all of that. And then when I take it out, I'll squeeze some more lemon juice on top, and it's so good. Then I got some chives, which these chives are like the best looking chives I think I've ever picked up at a grocery store. So I was pretty impressed by how like not old these chives look. So I love adding chives. My favorite actually is to add them when I make bagels, to put like some kind of cream cheese. Usually I'm using like a vegan cream cheese, but sometimes I'll use regular. And then I love adding the chives on top with a little bit of the everything but the bagel seasoning, which I picked up 2 of those. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, just chives are so good. They're kind of oniony tasting. Oh, I can smell it, so good. Okay, so looks like Dan picked up some uncooked ground buffalo burgers. I grabbed some organic, super sweet cut, don't know what that means, but organic frozen corn. I just like having frozen corn on hand, mostly for when I'm making chili. I love corn in my chili. I'm not like the biggest corn fan. Dan and I were talking about that today. We would love to grow corn. I think we'd both like corn a lot more then, because I never find myself like buying it. But I do like having a little bit frozen on hand, like I said, for when I make chili. Dan picked up some New England clam chowder. We've both just been eating at home so much more since we moved to Nashville. I've mentioned this before. There's just not as many, it's not as easy to get to food places as where we lived before. And there's not as many like healthy options readily available. So we've just grown to really love eating at home. And so a lot of things that he grabbed, he's still kind of like I would say that I'm farther down that trail of like knowing what I like to cook and eat. And so he's still kind of figuring that out. So he grabs, I don't even know why I'm explaining this to you, but I think that's why he grabs some random things like this. Just like little things that he can quickly make at home for lunch, since like I said, we do not eat out as much as we used to. I picked up one yellow bell pepper, and I got yellow because I watched a documentary recently that actually said that the yellow bell peppers have like a ton more vitamin C content in them than the other colored bell peppers. So yeah, I'll probably use that. I could use that in a soup. I could use that in a salsa if I wanted to add it to like a homemade pico. I could add it in a stir fry, a veggie stir fry. I could add it in my eggs or chili. So many things I could do with that. Dan picked up some hatch chili mac and cheese. Hatch chilies are the bomb. I picked up a ball of fresh mozzarella cheese. Guys, I've never done this before. I've never done this. But I really want to make some, like a new kind of pasta dish. Or maybe I'll end up using it in lasagna. I don't know. I just was like, I'm feeling drawn to mozzarella. So I picked some up. And then Dan picked up a cheese and green chili tamale. He also picked up some organic jasmine rice. This is just like the microwavable quick rice. He also grabbed some organic yellow mustard. I picked up some fat-free feta cheese. I don't go for the fat-free for any other reason other than like just this particular one I really like. So I got it for a couple of different things that I want to make over the next week or so. I want to do this like stuffed pepper type situation. I like feta sometimes in my salads. And yeah, I just particularly like this feta from Trader Joe's. Also picked up some coleslaw. That was very aggressive. Coleslaw. Because when my mom came to town, she made some bomb coleslaw. And when she left, I loved it so much, I like immediately made my own batch. But I haven't made it since then. And so I just want to make some more. So this is a blend of shredded green and red cabbage with orange carrot. Side note, if you didn't know, I'm actually attempting to grow purple cabbage upstairs in my tower garden. I don't know if it's gonna work. Everything's kind of an experiment because not everything can grow inside. But I'm feeling kind of hopeful. So when I made my coleslaw last time, I added in apples and it was like veganese and apple cider vinegar and lemon juice. And I don't even really remember. I should probably refine that recipe and like make it in a video because it was so good. But I'm just excited to make more coleslaw. So then I have some zucchini that I picked up for the veggie lasagna that I'm gonna be making my neighbor. I'm probably gonna make 2 lasagnas when I make them that day. One for their family and then one for me and Dan, because Dan has been craving lasagna lately too. So then I picked up some globe artichokes. I'm a big artichoke fan and I love dipping my artichokes in lemon garlic aioli. So I basically just take veganese, I add lemon juice and garlic and like a ton of pepper and some salt, and that's it. And everyone who ever tries it is like blown away, and I'm like, this is so simple. I also love taking that dip and like making sweet potato fries and using that as the dip. It's so good. But we'll probably make these honestly like in the next day or two because they'll go bad, I think, pretty fast if we don't. And I love making them, like steaming them. and then having Dan take them out to our smoker and smoking them, and it adds like, it takes them over the top. And I usually put a little balsamic on top before they're smoked as well, and it's just so good. Sometimes I'll like drop chives on there too, and oh my gosh, I'm getting so hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet either, so I'm like, I picked up more bananas because I did buy bananas at Walmart, but I swear I've already eaten like half of them in my smoothies. So I'll be chopping these up probably today or tomorrow and throwing them in the freezer, because that's pretty much all I use bananas for, is just for smoothies. I also picked up a bag of oranges. I feel like we're going into orange season or something, because all of the oranges, or it's just that it's winter, I don't know. I feel like I've been seeing oranges everywhere and they're really like calling to me. I do go through those seasons though, once a year I'd say, where I'm like orange obsessed. And I've kind of been feeling that way lately. So these are Cara navel oranges. And yeah, just excited to chow down on some oranges. So we are on our last bag. I have, some more white cheddar popcorn. These are the pita bite crackers that Dan picked up. He got these, I believe, for his salami, but I might try this with the hummus that I picked up. I haven't actually ever tried those. He picked something up that I did not want him to get, but he got it anyway. This is birthday cake popcorn. You know, treats, it's fine, I guess. It's popcorn with a vanilla flavored glaze and multicolored sprinkles. It sounds like it's absolutely amazing, and absolutely horrible for you, so that's exciting. We got my second bottle of balsamic vinegar. Oh, these are the mini potatoes I picked up for those Parmesan garlic squished potatoes that I want to make us. And then I got another bag of, well, another bag. It's because I have a bag in my cupboard, but I wanted another one because it's already like more than halfway out, and I'm like, I need more quinoa. I just don't like having, that sounds really weird that I don't like having that little of quinoa. It's because it feels like it's one of those items that like, even if I'm out of food, I still have like this dried item that can be made into so many different things. So this is their organic Tricolor Quinoa, and it's really good. I actually threw this into a chili I made the other day, and it cooked up amazingly. And you know, quinoa has protein in it, so that's cool. And yeah, and then the star of the show, I picked up some Everything But The Bagel sesame seasoning blend, and it's just like it sounds. It's the seasoning that goes on an everything bagel. So I like this mostly, well, sometimes I'll put it on avocado toast, but lately I've been using it like crazy to make my homemade bagels. So if you didn't see that video, I uploaded a recipe for them, and I'm obsessed with them. They're amazing, and they're like a healthier bagel. They're like 3 Weight Watchers points, and I use tons of this seasoning on the back end to give it that crunch and just like so much flavor. So literally, I love this stuff, and I feel like everyone does, because our Trader Joe's had like shelves of it. I was like, wow, you guys are really stocked up on the Everything But The Bagel seasoning. Got a second jar or second bottle, whatever. So I picked up 7 cans of just like things, because I'm trying to start making it a habit, I think, kind of moving forward when I go to grocery stores, to pick up more canned goods because they last for a while. You guys know I'm building up like my prepper pantry, which I will be making. If I haven't mentioned this, I think I have. I am going to be making videos on that. And yeah, so I picked up 2 different kinds of canned things. I got some organic Great Northern beans and some organic black beans. And I like these just for like all kinds of things, mostly for soups and stir fries, and maybe if I'm making Mexican food, sometimes I like making bowls where it's like quinoa rice with some kind of bean, salsa, guacamole, hot sauce, you know, whatever, cheese or Greek yogurt. You know, or veggie soups or whatever, but I like having canned beans on hand. So guys, that is it. Now I have to say, Dan and I spend a lot of money on food. I mean, I feel like it doesn't take a rocket scientist, I don't like that saying, but that's fine, to figure that out. We have always, like, even when we were really tight on money early in our marriage, we probably spent more than we should have on food. And now granted, I am trying to pay attention to that more. The fact that we don't eat out all the time like we did when we lived in LA is already making a huge dent on our food money, our food budget, but we do spend a lot. So I realize in telling you this, it's gonna be like, what? But to me, I'm like, we just got so much food for not that much money. It was $181.98. And I preface that because I know for some people that might be like their whole month's food budget. And everyone's in a different place, you know, based on what they can afford, what they want to prioritize in their life. We just really like good food. We eat a lot of food. We feed people a lot of food. Like when friends and family come over, we're not like stingy. We're like, take it, yeah, pull it all out, let's do it. So we spent a lot, but at the same time, when I think about how much money we used to spend going out, I mean, we could spend 50 bucks or more at a meal. And so it's like, that would be like 3 meals basically, a little more, versus all of this food, which is gonna make so much. So a lot of you guys asked me to tell you how much we spent, so that is why I told you, but I felt like I had to preface it with that because I feel like to some people it's like gaspable how much we spend on food. And we don't even have kids yet, so kind of crazy. Anyways, that is it. I hope that you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, please, if you do. It helps my channel out a lot when you guys thumbs up videos that you like. Not only because then I can know what you like with certainty, but it also helps out my channel like in the algorithm. So I would appreciate it. And also, if you've made it this far, check out the info box because I've started dropping like secret giveaways in the info boxes again. So only people that like think to check it actually know about it, or people who maybe make it to the end like this far and then hear me tell them. But I have a lot of stuff that I like need to get rid of, quote unquote. We've been donating so much stuff this year to different charities, but I also want to give some of them back to you guys. So just, you know, check my info box and all that jazz. I'm gonna go put all this food away now, and I will see you guys back here soon. Bye!